Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another edition of As We See It. It's time to set sail again on a 3-night adventure on board P&O's Britannia. We did only book this cruise about 2 weeks ago, so because of this our tickets weren't fully ready. Our travel agent then sent them to us that morning as we were on the train down to Southampton, which was quite eventful with no delays. We then had to walk around town and find a printing shop to get our tickets printed once we were finally released for printing. We did find a great shop in Southampton to get our tickets printed. I would recommend this for anyone if you are stuck for this in the future. I'll make the recommendation in the comments below. We had lunch in Taco Bell, which seems to be our staple when we go to Southampton. We then walked over to Ocean Terminal past the time as we had a late check-in at 3 PM. As we arrived at the port we were about 30 minutes early. At the port we were directed to go and have our COVID lateral flow test. You enter a building, they call you forward, they check your passport and that you're double vaccinated. They don't accept a paper card, they prefer it on the NHS app or a printed copy of that record. You're then cleared to move to the next stage. This is where the COVID test reception was. You were asked to provide your name, they check you in, but please make sure that you've provided a mobile number on your online check-in documentation. When I checked in, they only had a landline number for me, so I was given a blue wristband with a green dot on it, which meant that I'd be held in a holding area inside the terminal. They did say that I'd get the result at the same time as Paul got his. We then went and got our luggage labels and we handed in our luggage to put it on the ship. You would normally have put your luggage in first prior to doing the COVID test, although we hadn't received our set sail passes, as you know, till that morning, so we didn't have the labels to put on our bags. After around 15 minutes of waiting in the terminal building, Paul's result came back negative. We asked the reception if they'd had mine. The lady checked and hadn't come back, and then 5 minutes later she called me over to tell me that everything was clear. It was a negative test and we could both board the ship. The testing can be quite daunting, but I have been doing home testing, but it does add a little anxiety to the trip. I tested negative for the last 4 days using the home kit, because I'd also been testing since Monday because I'd had a trip out to Legoland Windsor on the Tuesday. You then proceed to reception desk to have your paperwork finally checked, get your set sail passes stamped, and then you proceed to security. We got through security quite quickly. We then walked the gangway on board the ship. We were then greeted on board by Matt from P&O, who was also from Wales. He spotted my GB hockey hat, so we chatted briefly about hockey and who were the current men's world champions. We then went to our muster station, they checked our cruise cards, then they asked us to watch the safety demonstration on our Stateroom TV. We did try to find some stairs to go up, but due to COVID protocol, some of them have been closed off. It was rather strange as we were being forced to use a lift to go up and down just for one floor. We got to the room, dumped off our bags, spoke with our cabin steward, and then headed out to explore the ship. In a previous video I said that I was really looking forward to seeing if the hydro pool in the spa was open. Unfortunately it wasn't, so we asked about the retreat up on deck 18. Shivani from the spa escorted us up to see that area. It's an amazing closed off area at the front of the ship where you have a nice sun lounger and access to 2 hot tubs. There is food served during the day and it's open from 8 AM to 8 PM and it was around about £20 a day per person. After seeing this, we went to the main atrium area to soak it up before heading into our room to get changed and then head up to the retreat. As we got into the retreat and had afternoon tea, I fell asleep on the lounger as usual. The ship's horn blasted, woke me up, scared the hell out of me, and it was time to set sail. Just as the ship had set sail, we did have to run back to the room to get changed as Paul has accidentally booked us to eat in Sindhu the Indian Speciality on board at 6:30. We got changed and then headed off for a meal. After dinner we went to Horizons, the buffet, for a cup of tea and then to watch the sunset. Paul had some fruit for dessert and I'd asked for ice cream but they didn't have any. I was told that there was no ice cream on board. The sunset outside was like something out of Empire of the Sun, so we headed out onto the deck and got some amazing pictures of it, so hopefully he's captured just how spectacular it was. After this, we walked around deck. I went back to the room to lie down as I was extremely tired. Paul wandered around the ship some more. Came back, we had a cup of tea, I read a chapter of my book, and we discussed food options for the following day. The light switch was clicked off and a peaceful slumber awaited.